It rains almost every night in Gotham, not always hard, not always loud, but always enough to make the city glisten like a secret that won't stay buried. Water threads down brickwork and coils through alleys. It chases itself along blacktop, pools and potholes, pinstripes fire escapes, and softens the jittery neon into smeared handwriting. From my rooftop, Gotham doesn't look built. It looks grown, like a dark, stubborn forest of stone and steel that decided to bloom where the river bends. The rain is how it breathes. The steam is how it thinks. This rooftop is where I come to remember my size. I'm nobody, really. Another tenant with a key that sticks. Another shadow in a city that manufactures them. But up here, under a sky that has never asked for my credentials, I can hear Gotham's pulse. The sirens don't shriek so much as comb the air. The subway hums 3 stories underground and still somehow tickles the soles of my shoes. The wind threads itself through the gap between 2 towers and invents a new instrument each night. Tonight, it's a soft reed, sighing in the gutter, polite and endless. I know the roof the way you know a face. The tar line along the eastern parapet where I measure rainfall with the edge of my sneaker. The stubborn door that groans like an old dog when you open it, then settles into listening when you let it close. The satellite dish no one bothered to remove. A rusted crescent that catches rain like a hand extended for alms. The battered vent cap that rattles when the wind wants to gossip. I've named nothing here, but everything has learned to answer. Gotham is not a kind city, but it is a precise one. It knows how much pressure to apply to make a person confess a truth they didn't realize they were carrying. It presses with rent and with noise, with headlines and with weather, with the slow knowledge that no one will hold your place in line if you leave. And yet, stand high enough, just to where the wet air begins to taste like iron and old pennies, and you discover it has rituals too. The night shift bakery that vents sweet breath at 2:43 a.m., the bus on Ward that sighs at the stop for exactly 9 seconds, even when no one is waiting, the river horn that speaks once before the hour like a throat clearing. Gotham keeps time in its bones. I keep time with it. I listen. I count. I inventory small, unlikely graces, a lit window where a hand turns pages, a lone umbrella blown inside out and then, after stubborn coaxing, turned right again, a stray cat holding court beneath a stoop, unbothered by human weather. I used to think observation was something you did to the world. Now I think it's something the world does to you, softly sanding down the parts that insist too loudly on being the center. Up here, I let myself be a margin. It is raining tonight in threads rather than nails, the kind of rain I can feel on my eyelashes before I feel it on my skin. It edits the city's noise into a manageable paragraph. Far below, tires whisk. Closer, a drain gurgles a little tragedy and then is comforted. A red light paints itself into a puddle. The reflection wavers like doubt and then commits. Gotham is not sleeping. The city never does, but it has dimmed, lowered its voice, turned its face toward the window as if not to wake someone. I settle onto the cold lip of the parapet and let my chin rest on the backs of my hands. The brick is slick. The chill climbs into my sleeves. I close my eyes and catalog the common prayers of night. The elevator's asthmatic wheeze 2 buildings over. The whispered argument of a couple who will, I hope, reach for each other after. The faint television laugh track that leaks from a window like a memory escaping. A taxi bell tings, a bike chain clacks, a door latches with the small, proud click of a task complete. You could say this roof saved me. Maybe that sounds dramatic. Maybe it is. But below, the rooms narrow in around your thoughts, and their corners learn to shout back. Down there you carry your own weather, and it never quite matches the forecast. Up here I am given the night's climate as a fact. Cold, wet, honest. The truth arrives without decoration, and the city allows me to be small without asking me to be insignificant. It's not that I dislike people. I like them fine. I like the lady who sells newspapers and smiles as if you've just told a good joke without meaning to. I like the bus driver who says good night like a stamped visa. I like the man with the puppet who tells the same joke twice because the rain swallowed the first telling. But I am built for corners and for thresholds, for watching where the light falls and what it spares. I was raised by a grandmother who could hear grief through a wall and cut extra slices of cake without comment. Observation is my inheritance. Gentleness is my hobby. Rooftops are my teacher. Tonight, Gotham is a low ceiling painted in smoke. The rain makes the paint shimmer. Far to the west, the old rail yard coughs a blue light. To the south, the river tucks a length of streetlight into its coat and carries it away. A billboard promises second chances. Another promises a phone that is smarter than you. The corner bulb on the lone sign blinks like a lie reconsidered. Every window is a little stage. A lamp, a plant, a man in a white undershirt ironing with ceremony. A kid swaying like seaweed with headphones. A woman in an apartment of immaculate emptiness reading a book that has made it to her face. I pull the damp notebook from my pocket and write small, shivering words the rain will try to drink. Steam, like the city's thinking made visible. Sirens comb, not tear. Umbrellas are little planets. Neon is a bruise that glows. It's the kind of writing no one will read, and that is precisely why it feels true. I don't need to be believed to be honest. I need to be here. I am not waiting for anything, not a miracle, not a message. Then the clouds above the financial district do something strange. They gather themselves around a hole, and through it a pale disk of light sharpens. At first I think it's stadium glare, or a helicopter caught in fog. But this light doesn't wander. It aims. It carves into the sky like a signet ring pressing wax, deliberate, ritual. The symbol forms out of absence, blurred by rain yet unmistakable. A winged shape, too sharp to be an accident, too old to be new. It feels as though Gotham has lifted its chin and stamped an oath onto the clouds. The lamp burns on the municipal building 3 blocks over. The precinct roof with its tired flag and the pigeons who think they own it. In its glow, I glimpse a figure in a heavy coat, posture weary but determined. An older man, shoulders carrying the math of other people's mistakes. He stands beside the lamp like a watchman by a bell, silent, present, refusing to leave. Rain thickens, then thins. The symbol refuses to blink. Windows across Gotham flicker as people stand up too quickly, as if the city itself pricked their attention. I count breaths. The roof beneath me feels alert. And then I see him, not appearing, emerging. The dark at the edge of a neighboring rooftop changes its mind and forms itself into a man who isn't just a man, the way a knife isn't just metal. His outline is height before detail, shadow before flesh. A broad cape that drinks the rain, a cowl that sculpts a head into myth, armor that looks less like protection than resolve given shape. He moves quietly, as if the night rearranges itself to accommodate him. The cape bends with the wind like it knows the mathematics. He does not look at me. He looks only at the signal, unflinching. White eyes gather light, making distance irrelevant. I duck behind the parapet, pulse hammering. For a moment, I feel like a trespasser in a sacred room. My lungs betray me, forcing short breaths, but curiosity drags me back up. He's still there, closer than rumor, heavier than silence. Rain trickles down his armor, collects at jagged edges, drips from serrated gauntlets. His jaw looks sculpted, his body large not from size, but because the night makes space for him. For the first time, I apologize inwardly to the dark for thinking it was empty. Then, he turns, not like a man startled by sound, but like a watchman revising a map. His eyes find me across the gulf. For a heartbeat, I swear it feels mythic. He doesn't threaten, doesn't scowl. He simply nods, the smallest gesture, enough to say, "I know you're there. That's fine. The world is big enough for our watching." Before I can react, he steps to the roof's edge. Rain pours past his boots. He looks once more at the symbol, then bends into the air and vanishes into Gotham's throat, claimed by the night. I lean forward, desperate to hold on to proof. The rooftop is empty again. The air forgets him instantly, like only a city can, completely, with love. Then comes the sound, not from above, but below. Pressure first, then vibration through puddles. A growl rolls east to west, iron in its voice. Headlights carve the steam, low and predatory. Something heavy rushes the intersection, skids, and claims the road. It's not a car. It's a beast forged from speed and intention. Armored planes where curves should be. A prow shaped like a verdict. Turbines under its skin hungry for air. Exhaust burns into brief halos the rain snatches away. Its roof sits so low it looks like it would knee anyone foolish enough to block its path. Light in, thunder out. The sound is fury wrapped in precision, like a drum played by a master. It devours the street, banking toward the municipal building without asking permission. Alarms wail as it passes. Dogs hold their tongues, reflections tilt, then right themselves. Red taillights blink once, reptilian, before the rain wrings them out into ribbons. The symbol still holds, cut into the clouds. On the roof, the watchman hasn't moved. He doesn't gesture or hail. He just stands, promise embodied. Farther north, a slim figure balances on a water tower, feminine, feline, rope or whip coiled at her hip. She shifts with perfect grace, then vanishes back into shadow as if mocking gravity. I tell myself I imagined her. I know I didn't. Rain intensifies, pleased with its own drama. My laugh escapes, quiet and astonished. The laugh of someone who realizes myths have working hours. I think of leaving, of doing something ordinary to ground myself. But my legs root to the roof. I cannot move until the night itself releases me. When it finally does, it's gentle. The growl fades to distance. The signal softens. The precinct roof shrugs into ordinariness. The watchman becomes just a man in a coat. A window across the street clicks dark. Steam disperses. The rain resumes its duty, erasing edges. I sit, drenched and trembling, notebook soaked, ink bleeding. I press a hand to the brick, steadying myself, breathing as if entrusted with something unrepeatable. I could tell someone, knock on a door and whisper, "Did you see?" But I won't. Some knowledge is social. This is devotional. To share it would make it smaller. To keep it makes me larger in a way only secrets can. Back in my hallway, the stairwell bulb flickers its heartbeat. Flicker, steady, flicker. My shoes print commas on each step. A grocery bag slumps under a mailbox. I rescue it out of habit. My radiator greets me with a shy knock. I lie back in bed. The ceiling cradles shadows like a story only I was meant to hear. My eyes close reluctantly. Behind them, the symbol still burns, carved into the clouds. The nod lingers, unbearable as a blessing. The beast's roar echoes in my ribs. The woman's silhouette flickers in memory. I once thought Gotham was a beast. Tonight, it felt like a cathedral. Not the kind with sermons, the kind that teaches you to lower your voice and lift your chin. Tomorrow, I will return to the rooftop, rain or not. If the signal shines again, I will not hide. If the shadow stands again, I will remember to breathe. And if the beast returns, I will listen for the whisper under its thunder. For now, sleep comes as the night did. Slow, absolute, not asking permission.